I was thinking about how nice it was that my beta readers, weren't gonna make me cry. And here I am crying. Hey guys, how's it going? So I was sitting here and I was filming clips for my beta reader vlog that I'm going to make eventually. I'm filming clips throughout the process, and anyways, that's for later. But I kind of went on a tangent that I realized should be its own video, so I'm just gonna do that now. So today's video is gonna be all about how, so far, knock on wood, beta readers aren't all that scary. If you don't know, I very recently sent my story out to beta readers for the very first time. It's the only time I've ever shared my work, with the exception of one story that I let my writing buddy read that, well, it didn't quite count, but anyways, this is the first time I've gone through this process. So I obviously was terrified because I'm sharing my writing with people for the first time. Other people are reading something I wrote. And that in itself is kind of a terrifying thought, especially because I've never done it before. And I got to the point in my story that I feel like I've hit a dead end with a couple things, or based off of my skill set and my perspective, I really did most that I could do as far as revisions. And for everything else, I needed beta readers. I needed someone else's eyes on it, other people's opinions, the whole shebang. So I did that, and I have realized so far, beta readers aren't terrifying. I think a lot of my fears came from just the sharing something, and I think this goes for so many things, especially artistic things. It's the first time that you're sharing your art, your writing, your music, something like that, something that's very personal, and putting it out there, and especially with beta readers, I'm putting it out there with the intention and the hope that people will tell me everything that's wrong with it, which is a scary thought, And I was worried that my feelings would be hurt with some of the criticism. I thought that people were gonna have a lot of negativity and whatnot, and I thought that it was going to get to me, and I thought, what if everybody says all these bad things about my story, and it makes me realize that I'm a bad writer, that this story is garbage, and it makes me stop loving my story. And I think that that was just fear talking and not necessarily logical, because I didn't send out my story so that people could tell me it's the best thing they ever wrote, because it's not. And also, I sent this out asking for criticism and feedback. Obviously, I asked people to point out if there was things that they really liked and stuff, and some of the feedback has been really positive and really fun. But the point of beta readers is to tell me what needs to be improved in my story so that I can then go make those improvements. So them telling me something they didn't like, or them telling me about a plot hole that I didn't see, or something that I didn't explain well enough, is not them saying, hey, you're a shitty writer, never write again. It's them saying, hey, you asked me how to improve your story, here's how to improve your story. Like, that's what I wanted. But as somebody who frequently reviews actual finished books, I have criticisms for them, even books that I absolutely love. So why would I expect any different from my book, which is still a draft? And I think that it's just a mindset that I had to get into, and I don't think it's a mindset that I could have got into before actually going through this process. And now that I'm in it, I just want to tell everybody else, because beta readers are great. Like, whoever invented beta readers, friggin' awesome. That's a great idea. I have gotten so much useful feedback already. So what I'm doing, just to kind of explain what my process has been so far, I'm not going through every single comment yet. I'm kind of going through them and just kind of getting a quick idea. I'm not reading every single line and everything yet, but I have a survey at the end, and then I'm getting information from there, and then at that point I see if there's any questions that I need to address before I can send them the next part and go from there. So I'm seeing a lot of the feedback, and I'm seeing a lot of the overall feedback. And yeah, there's a lot of things that people have mentioned that I need to improve. That's awesome. That is more ways for me to improve my writing, for me to improve this story, for me to make this book the best book that I can make it. Like, I'm noticing already a couple things that just didn't quite come across the way that I wanted them to. Okay, if people didn't pick up on that, it doesn't mean I'm a terrible writer. It just means, okay, I worded that wrong, or I should have done this instead. Now let me go implement those changes to make that story better. Or there's some things that I'm seeing people like that I just didn't think were going to get that reaction. I didn't think people were going to care that much, so I kind of toned it down a bit. But now I'm seeing, oh, people did like that stuff. Okay, I'm going to ramp that up. Or even some things that are just silly little mistakes. Like there's a couple little plot holes that I put that I didn't even think of. Like, they're like, oh, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, of course it makes sense. I just didn't explain it to you because I didn't put that in the story. I didn't tell the reader the necessary information for that to make sense. And that's the things like that, because as the writer, I know all of this other information. Sometimes I just forget to share that. There's certain little things that I realized aren't coming across right because I either didn't add something, or there's some things that I ended up cutting the plot, but I still reference it early on. Or like little things here and there like that. And that's awesome. Like them pointing out all my mistakes is awesome. That's them telling me how to improve my story. And it has helped that I have had a lot of, I think, really good beta readers so far. Like I said, I haven't gone through everything. So I think that a lot of it is because the beta readers I have are awesome. So I have all of these people that I can disappoint with a terrible story. And people aren't being disappointed. They're pointing out mistakes and errors and weak points because they want me to improve my story, because I asked them to point out these things, and I'm already having so many ideas on how to improve things, and some things that I wouldn't have thought of on my own, or things that I just didn't realize weren't coming across because, again, I have all this backstory. Like, another example is that the story takes place in the imagination world and the monster realm. So the imagination world is pretty light and fun, and the monster world is very dark and not fun. And the first half of the book is pretty much only in the imagination world. But I'm also calling this a dark fantasy because at its core, like, the overall story is fairly dark, and because we do have all of that darkness. As the author, I know that. I know what's going on beneath the surface. So for me, because I was writing it, because I knew it was coming, it didn't feel that weird to have all of this lights up and then go to dark. But the people that are reading it, they don't know what's coming. They don't know what's underneath the surface. So they're reading this dark fantasy story, and the first half of the book is fairly light. And somebody pointed that out, and I'm like, yeah, that's a very valid point. But because I'm not just the reader, I may not have noticed that on my own. And there was also a couple parts that were positives. Like, for the imagination world itself, it's very topsy-turvy in a lot of ways, but in a lot of other ways, I guess what it comes down to is I didn't trust my world-building skills enough to make it that weird. Like, there's a lot of things that I put really weird, like the streets and some of the buildings, but for example, there's a scene at a play park, and I made that very similar to the real world because I wanted to have some things that were very similar to our world so that the reader could kind of understand it, because I was kind of worried that by making it too weird, it would be hard to follow, or that I wouldn't be able to explain it well enough and people would just get confused. But the feedback that I'm getting is that all of those weird parts that I threw in, a lot of people are liking those parts, and a lot of people find that fun, and it's not confusing. So that's kind of giving me the confidence to kind of ramp it up a little bit, because I thought that people weren't going to like that, and they are. But even the things they say that are stinging a little bit make complete sense, and again, will make the story stronger. And that's okay. And I feel like I finally not only know it, but accept it, and I'm okay with it. I thought that I would be more upset. Okay, I just wanted to jump in. I was trying to film a clip for that vlog again, and I just thought it was very fitting for this video that I decided I was gonna make. So I was talking about how great everything was going, and I don't remember if I actually said it in the video, but I was thinking about how nice it was that my beta readers, weren't gonna make me cry. And here I am crying. But it's because I'm really happy, because my first beta reader finished my story, and her feedback was pretty good, but it's mostly just the fact that there's somebody in the world right now that has read my story, and I didn't think it was gonna feel as exciting as it is. Like, there is somebody out there who knows my whole story. I can talk to her about my characters, and she's read my writing and she liked it. And even though obviously, like I said, there's flaws and there's things that can be improved, and she had some criticism and everything, but overall she liked it, and there's this is so silly. But yeah, so sometimes I just get really emotional with things, and I was just sitting here and I started thinking about how proud I was of myself, because I didn't think that this was ever going to be something that I would be able to do. Like, not only share my story with people, I never thought I'd be able to do that, but share my story with beta readers with the purpose of criticism. Like, I didn't ever think that I would be brave enough to put myself out there like that, and I'm really happy that it went well, and that it's going well, and I'm really happy about the feedback, but I'm also just really, really fucking proud of myself for being able to do that, and it's just the coolest fucking feeling in the world. That's really all I gotta say. I'm gonna put you back to the outro now, because I don't want to refilm the outro, especially now that I'm crying so much. But yeah, I just wanted to pop on and say that it's just a really good feeling, and I'm really proud of myself, and I highly recommend beta readers, because this is just so much better than I ever thought it could be. So yeah, anyways, back to the stuff where I'm not as much of a mess. Beta readers can be very intimidating. I know that. I definitely think that the whole process is intimidating, but it is some of the most useful feedback, and this will improve my story in a way that I couldn't have done otherwise. My beta readers are helping me do that, and it's not as scary as I thought it would be. So that is all for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please click the like button to let me know, and subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of my videos. I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, usually reading or writing related. So I hope to see you guys next time, and until then, have a great day. Bye.